Hello, and welcome back to another video. This is the second episode of story in which the 4th Shinobi World War was over, and Naruto was finally captured by Madara. But is hope truly gone? And what the heck is happening to the Ghetto Mazo? Join our favorite blonde hero and the nine-tailed beasts on their great journey to the past. Let's see how Naruto deals with this. After you've finished watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. To begin, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get this show going. Why did you tell the Uchiha boy about that without asking us, Sarutobi? Koharu Utatane slammed her hands on the table in front of the Hokage in rage, making the paper on it flying everywhere. The old Hokage just threw her a sharp glare. And tell me, why should I ask you about what I am going to do to one of my shinobi, Koharu? We are the council advisors. The old hag screeched, not unlike a certain pink-haired kunoichi. We have the right to know. Killing intent suddenly filled the room. The two advisors slumped down on the ground in fear, choking on their spit when Sarutobi stood up, his eyes glued at their faces with a menacing glare as if he was out for their blood. Listen up you, the old man growled. You may be the council advisors, but I am the Hokage. This is a shinobi village, and I hold absolute power over all shinobi and kunoichi in this village, including you. What I decide to do with my shinobi is not of your competence to interfere. Understand? Koharu and Homura nodded shakily. They understood that, despite being an old coot just like them, Hiruzen Sarutobi was not known as the third god of shinobi for nothing. Anbu. The Hokage barked. Get these two meatbags out of my office. Behind the door, Danzo Shimura cursed in his mind. He didn't expect the old monkey Sarutobi to make a comeback like this. Because of this, his plan to take over the Hokage seat in the near future would be much harder to bring into action. But no matter. He still had other ideas in mind. Kakashi-sensei is late again. Sakura tapped her foot on the ground in annoyance. Naruto sighed, shaking his head. Well, he is Kakashi-sensei after all. We shouldn't have listened to him. This was the 4th time said sensei was late in a team meeting. He said that they would begin their first mission that morning. But seriously, who in their right mind would issue missions for them at 5 freaking AM? Damn that Kakashi, Sasuke grumbled. Luckily I'm used to waking up early. Well, going back home now is just silly, Naruto started. How about sparring until Kakashi-sensei arrives? I'm getting itchy for a good fight. Sakura hesitated. I don't think doing that before a mission is a good idea. Very well, Sasuke cut in. I also want to see how strong you really are. After the bell test, everyone in Team 7 had seen Naruto in a different eye. Naruto grinned. Sweet. So how about you and Sakura team up against me? Sakura raised an eyebrow. Huh? 2 against 1? What makes you so confident? Naruto deadpanned, then crossed his fingers. A shadow clone appeared next to him in a puff of smoke. Sakura groaned. Right, say no more. Then let's get started, Sasuke declared with a smirk. Naruto grinned back at him. Bring it on. Hey you 3, I was going to come here at 5, but a black cat crossed. Kakashi had to jump out of the way when a shadow clone of Naruto was thrown straight at his face. Hey, you're actually quite good, Naruto, Sasuke grinned between heavy breaths. What did I tell you? Naruto grinned back. There was no sign of fatigue on his body. I'm just that awesome. Then they charged at each other again. Next to them, Sakura was out cold on the ground. Her face was full of bruises, and her left eye sported a brilliantly purple shade. Kakashi sighed. He knew that it's time to stop the two boys. Alright, you two. It's time for our mission. Sasuke finally collapsed on the ground, drained out. Damn it, Naruto, he panted in exhaustion. Do you ever get tired in your life? Hey, no, Naruto answered with a smile. People didn't call me a walking tank of stamina for nothing. Hey, don't ignore me. Ow, my head. Sakura woke up with a groan. Do you really have to punch me that hard, Naruto? Naruto scratched his head sheepishly. Sorry Sakura, but if I hadn't done that, you would have drilled me to the ground with your own punches. But really, I didn't think a punch like that could knock you out. Well, sorry for not being a stamina freak like you. Sakura retorted. An ominous aura of depression suddenly covered the training field, making the 3 Genin turn their heads. The source of it was Kakashi, who was now sulking on the ground, a rain cloud floating over his head. My cute little Genin are ignoring me. What's wrong with him? Sakura raised an eyebrow. Nah, just let him be. He'll get better, Naruto answered with a shrug. Alright, so today you'll officially start your shinobi career, Kakashi said with a voice full of authority. "What we're doing today is something incredible. It concerns the life of citizens of Konoha. It is the fear of all generations of shinobi, in all ranks, of all ages." "So what is it?" Sasuke asked. He was starting to feel irritated. Kakashi gave him an eye smile. D-ranked missions. Unfortunately for Kakashi, he focused too much on Sasuke to notice Naruto's evil grin. Tora the cat, the pet of the fire daimyo's wife, the terror of every shinobi in Konoha, was running on the village street. She had escaped from that horrible excuse of a master, again. It's just too easy to find an opening from that fat woman, and she only needed a precise scratch and quick feet to find freedom. Today, she heard that another new team of Genin was sent to capture her. She had escaped over 1,000 Genin. No shinobi in the village had ever captured her without their face being scratched badly. 2 days ago, a team of new Genin had also been sent, and she had completely ruined their faces before resigning herself to the jonin that was with them. So why should she be afraid of another bunch of snot-nosed brats? Ooh, but she didn't know that this bunch of snot-nosed brats was completely different from any other bunches of snot-nosed brats. Especially when that bunch of snot-nosed brats consisted of one Naruto Uzumaki. From the future. Like people say, curiosity killed the cat. And Naruto had applied that very well to this case. The poor cat never knew what hit her. 45 minutes. Wow, this is a new record. Never before has a team completed the infamous capturing Tora mission in less than 1 hour. Well, what can you say? Naruto smirked. We're just that awesome. However, Team 7 shall be banned from this mission from now on. The third Hokage continued without missing a beat. What? Why? Naruto wailed dramatically. Sasuke snorted. Do you even have to ask? Remember what you did to that cat. I have to agree, Naruto, Kakashi chimed in. Tying the target up with 5 rolls of ninja wire and a sticky net, showering it with a mixture of paint, jam, water, glue, alcohol and mud, then throwing it into a barrel of tar and feather and dragging it on the ground all the way to the Hokage tower is too overkill for a cat, you know. That's right Naruto, the Hokage nodded. As effective as it is, we want to return Madame Shijime's pet alive, not as a corpse covered in whatever you threw at her. It's a demon cat. It'll live, Naruto shrugged. Now that was too mean of you, Naruto-kun, Muratabi said inside his head. Naruto raised an eyebrow. What? I'm a cat too. And seriously, how in the world did you have the time to set all those traps? Sakura asked incredulously. It's like, let's see, 20 traps in total. In just about 10 minutes. Nah, it's nothing comparing to the time I snuck into the Anbu headquarters to spray glue into the masks of Anbu members. Naruto waved his hand absently. The air in the room suddenly became freezing cold. Did you really say what I think you did, Naruto? Kakashi turned back to him and gave him a disturbingly sweet eye smile. Naruto, realizing what he had just said, smiled nervously. Ah. That. Well, you see. Excuse me Hokage-sama, Kakashi grabbed his shoulder, the disturbing eye smile never left his face. I and my cute little student here are going to have a special student-teacher bonding moment. Naruto gulped. 1 hour later, Naruto returned to Training Ground 7, with Kakashi right next to him. His whole body was full of bruises and scratches. What happened to you? Sasuke raised an eyebrow. Naruto just mumbled something incoherent in his mouth. Ah, nice weather, Kakashi said with another eye smile. He seemed very cheerful. Too cheerful, I might say. Now as we have completed the mission today so fast with the help of Naruto here, Naruto just grumbled unhappily, I think it's time for some training. Are you ready, my Genin? No one raised an objection. Or maybe it's because Naruto's jaw hurt so much he couldn't even speak properly yet. Come to think of it, Naruto was a training freak, so he probably wouldn't mind anyway. Gee, thanks a lot, author. You're welcome. And please, don't break the fourth wall. Very well. Today I will teach you how to climb a tree. Kakashi stopped when he saw the faces of Sasuke and Sakura. What? Is something wrong? But climbing a tree is not hard. We can do it already, Sakura blinked. Oh? But do you know how to do it like this? With those words, Kakashi walked towards a tree, and started walking up the trunk. He continued to walk until he reached a pretty high branch. I can do it, Naruto raised his hand from below, making Kakashi nearly fall off the branch. Really? Demonstrate, then, he ordered, after managing to retain his balance on the branch. Naruto nodded, and started walking up another tree nearby, until he reached a branch as high as Kakashi's. Where did you learn that? Sasuke demanded, getting upset as the dead last knew something he didn't know. Oh, I saw someone did that before, and decided to ask them how to do it, Naruto shrugged. I've just completed it a few days ago. It turns out to be an effective technique to run away from people chasing me, you know. Hearing that, Sasuke didn't push further. Actually, he himself had seen people in his clan doing things like that many times before. He cursed himself mentally for not asking Itachi or his father how to do it. Sakura was also surprised, though not very much. After witnessing what Naruto had done during the bell test, she understood that Naruto had been hiding many things from everybody. Therefore, if Naruto had known some techniques before her, it wouldn't have been a strange thing anyway. But Kakashi was the most upset. Being a Jonin, he knew exactly what the greatest problem of Naruto was. And when he said people chasing me, he understood it as mobs chasing after me to kill the demon. Being Naruto's secret guardian for a long time, he couldn't help feeling guilty about letting the boy suffer like that. Now, listening to the boy talking about that like some daily routine, the guilt started to bubble up again in his heart. He felt that in some way, he had failed Minato-sensei. He had failed to protect his teacher's son, failed to give the boy a better life when he didn't have the love of his parents. But why do we have to learn this? Finally, after a few seconds, Sasuke spoke up. I mean, it just looks like some fancy way to travel. It does not seem to help anything in battle. Ah, I was going to explain that, Kakashi answered. Now, how about you try to do it first, Sasuke? Channel chakra to your feet, and run up the trunk. Sasuke stared at him incredulously, but then nodded and did as he was told. He smirked when his feet planted firm on the tree trunk. He took one step, then 2 steps. But at the third one, the bark crumbled under his feet, and Sasuke fell down the tree. His face connected to the ground with a sickening thud. See that, Sasuke? Kakashi said in an amusing tone. If you lose control of your chakra, you fall. The purpose of this exercise is to improve your chakra control. The better your chakra control is, the more effectively you can use your jutsu. Genjutsu requires good control of your chakra too, so if you want to learn Genjutsu, you have to improve your control first. But then, does that mean Naruto has the best chakra control among us? Sakura questioned. Kakashi smiled. Not quite. Right now, it is the truth that Naruto has the best control, but with enough training, your control shall become better than him. Naruto is not someone suitable for precise chakra control. Naruto pouted. Hey, I'm not that bad. Right. Well, if you're that good, how about you looking after your teammate for a while? I have some work to do. And Kakashi flickered away without letting Naruto say a word. Naruto stared at the place Kakashi had just disappeared from for a while, then grumbled something sounded suspiciously like damn lazy bastard. Sasuke was frustrated. Sakura had got the technique at her first try. Meanwhile, his best was just 10 steps up the trunk before he lost control and fell to the ground. Hey, Dobi, give me some tip. Naruto looked at Sasuke and sighed. Yeah, whatever timeline or age he was in, Sasuke was still a jerk. Sasuke, he started with a tone full of annoyance. If you want someone to help you, you should stop using that tone. Who the hell do you think you are, my father? Sasuke bristled. I am an Uchiha. And how does that make you different from anyone? Naruto cut him short with a sharp voice. Greater men than you have gotten themselves killed because of that stupid I'm from a great clan thing. Even if you are strong, there will always be someone in this world who is stronger than you. Can you defeat the Hokage? Can you defeat Kakashi-sensei? Hell, can you even defeat Iruka-sensei when he is serious? In this world, you are nothing yet, Sasuke. Do you ever feel that everyone in the village doesn't care about you and your clan? Well, sorry, it's not like everyone ignores you, it's that attitude of yours that make you ignore people, and people scare of you. Stop hiding behind your clan name and be a man. Anger started to boil in Sasuke's head. He opened his mouth, an insult ready to be thrown at the blonde in front of him. Then he faltered. Because he realized retorting only proved what Naruto said was true. During the bell test, he couldn't even land a hit on Kakashi alone, even when the Jonin was not fighting seriously. Even more so, he was humiliated by said Jonin with a stupid trick. Even he himself understood that the gap between their ability was too great. Since he was a child, his father had taught him that the Uchiha was always the strongest. He was proud of being born into the Uchiha clan, of bearing the Uchiha name and wearing the symbol of the clan on his back. But now looking back, he could see that despite bearing the name of his family, he was still just a weak Shinin. He was still just a grain of sand in this whole desert called the Shinobi world. And after what the Hokage had told him the previous day, he said that the fatal flaw of the Uchiha clan was the pride of their own power. He didn't want to believe it, but look at what the power of the Uchiha had brought to his clan. They planned a coup on Konoha, and were massacred in the process. Could it be that he was right? Could it be that his pride of the clan name had made him forget who he really was? Fine. After a while, Sasuke grumbled begrudgingly. Can you give me some advice? Alright, Naruto smiled. He was happy that Sasuke decided to be nice for a change. It was just reluctant, but a change is still a change. What do you feel when you focus your chakra? Hey, my Janan, how was the training going? Kakashi's voice trailed off when he saw Sasuke and Sakura running up and down the tallest trees in the training ground just like walking on flat ground. And Naruto was looking at them from a lower branch, grinning cheekily while hanging himself upside down. Wow, you did a great job as a teacher after all. Maybe I'll let you be the sensei of the team for a while, he joked. Naruto just stared at him with a deadpan expression, while Sasuke and Sakura gasped in horror, and fell off the trees they were running up. Naruto was skipping on the street of Konoha. Well, to be fair, he had done a lot of useful things during the last week. He had completed his wind element training. Still not as good as it was during his time, but hey, it's just a week and he already got it to that level. And he was stuck in a 10-year-old body, so that was A+. He had managed to gain respect from Sasuke, Sakura and Kakashi-sensei. Since after the tree climbing training, Kakashi-sensei hadn't called him a dead last, and Sakura hadn't punched him silly like before, except for when they were sparring, of course. Sure, Sasuke was still a jerk, but at least he had opened up to everyone in the team more than ever. He had managed to make the old Hokage tell Sasuke the truth about the massacre of the Uchiha clan. Maybe it was the reason why Sasuke had mellowed out that much. And even Gigi didn't look like a senile old man like he was before, he looked somewhat happier, and somehow stronger. Naruto didn't understand why, but that couldn't be a bad sign, could it? And he, together with his team, had managed to complete a lot of D-rank missions. Thanks to the shadow clones, anyway. So there, what was the reason for him not to be in a very happy mood? Crash. Ow. Ow. But despite how happy you were, you should have kept your eyes on the road while you're walking, Naruto. Naruto rubbed his nose while wincing. That hurt. He snapped his head up, ready to throw an insult to the face of the bastard who rammed into him. Then he stopped abruptly. Because he realized that the one who just crashed into him was Hinata. The anger in his head was gone in an instant, replaced by honest concern. He jumped toward the fallen girl and shook her lightly. Hey, Hinata-chan. Hinata-chan, are you okay? The girl groaned meekly and opened her eyes, only to face the concerned blue eyes of her crush directly above her, staring straight into her white orbs. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I crashed into Naruto-kun. He is staring at me. Her face immediately heated up to a dangerous level. Her eyes rolled to the back of her head, and her consciousness started fading. Oh no you don't, Naruto cursed. He had almost forgotten about Hinata's strange habit. Don't go fainting on me now. Wake up Hinata-chan. Wake up. He slapped her cheek gently. Hinata groggily opened her eyes again. And she saw Naruto's face, even closer to hers than before. She fainted again. Damn it. Well, I don't know how to say this, but maybe it would be better if you get your damn face off hers? Kurama snapped in annoyance. The boy was still as dense as always. Ah. Good point. Hey, what are you doing to Hinata? The voice from his back almost made Naruto jumped. He turned back, and realized he was facing Kiba. He smiled nervously. Ah. I just crashed into her a few minutes ago, and I was trying to get her back up. Then she just fainted like that. Then he realized the backpack on Kiba's back. He saw that Hinata was also wearing a similar one. Hey, is your team going somewhere? Ha. We're having a C-rank mission out of the village, so we have to prepare for it. Kiba bragged. A dead last like you will not going to have anything like that. Akamaru whined. He gave Naruto a look that could be understood as sorry, Naruto-san. Naruto rolled his eyes. He had known Kiba for so long that he didn't care about his bragging habit anymore. Behind them, Hinata groaned and opened her eyes. Again. Fortunately for her, there was no sign of Naruto's face near hers anymore. But unfortunately for her, he was the first one who recognized that she was awake. Ah, Hinata-chan, he exclaimed, his legs ready to leap towards her. Hinata snapped her eyes shut. She didn't want to be sent to the dreamland once more. What? Oh, come on. Fine. Hinata opened her eyes one more time, and sweat dropped seeing Naruto talking to himself, while waving his hand around as if he was chasing some invisible mosquitoes. Naruto started to sweat when he realized Hinata's stare. Crap, I said that out loud, did I? The two of them continued staring at each other awkwardly for a while. And maybe they would have stood there like that forever if the voice full of annoyance of Kiba hadn't rose from behind them. Oi, lovebirds, cut it out. We have a mission to do here. Hinata and Naruto immediately snapped back to reality, their faces both heated up. Lovebirds. Hinata had to concentrate every particle of her mind to keep herself from fainting again. So, good luck on your mission, Hinata-chan, Naruto said lamely. Oh okay. Thank you, and Naruto-kun, Hinata stuttered back, her face was as red as a cherry now. See you soon. Then she ran away like flying, leaving Kiba behind coughing like crazy and a smoke screen coming out from nowhere. Poor girl, Saikyo commented in a sad tone. Yeah, Chome agreed. Falling in love with a boy who is as dense as a rock. Hey! Jigi, we want a C-rank mission. Sarutobi blinked. It's not like he was surprised, though. He had expected Naruto to ask for this, considering where and when he was from. I agree, Sasuke added. No offense, but all those chores we have been doing since last week made me sick. I'm tired of seeing clients glaring at us when we arrive for the missions already. Well, maybe all the glares were aimed at Naruto mainly, but still. And they didn't know why Naruto deserved all those glares. Sure, he might be a prankster, but that didn't mean those glares. It's just as if he was a monster. What had Naruto done to them to make them hate him that much? Besides, Sakura chimed in. A team has to complete at least 5 D ranks before they can advance to C ranks, right Hokage-sama? Well, Team 7 has fulfilled the minimum requirement. Sasuke smirked. I didn't know you were interested in a C rank too, Sakura. Sakura just blushed. Anything for you, Sasuke-kun? Yes, she was still a fangirl. Couldn't expect anyone to change completely in just a week, right? But she would get better. Hell, she would even have the potential to become a person of mass destruction, if she put her mind into it. But that was the story of the future. Right now, the only thing whatever she was doing did was creeping Sasuke out completely. Well, I guess that's true. The old Hokage scratched his head. But I'm afraid the last C-rank mission of this week was taken by Team 8 yesterday. Maybe if you return next week, there will be a mission available for you. So then, how about you just do some more D ranks while waiting? Team 7 groaned. Well, except for Kakashi, of course. That's weird. What's wrong, Kurama? As I remember, today is the day you received the mission to Wave, right? The Vixen wondered. So there must be at least that mission available for you. Unless. Her eyes suddenly widened in realization. Suddenly, the door to the mission control burst open. Hokage-sama. Team 8, led by Jonin Kurenayuhi requires reinforcement for their escort mission to Wave. During their mission, they were ambushed by the demon brothers of Kirigakure. Naruto's blood froze. Dread twisted his stomach. Now he knew what happened to the mission to Wave. And worse, he knew exactly what was going to happen during that mission. Damn it. Why is this happening? It meant that Team 8 would have to face Zabuza instead of them. During his time, Kakashi was known as the most powerful Jonin of Konoha, even without the Mangekyo Sharingan. And he'd still had to struggle against Zabuza. What if Kurenai-sensei couldn't hold her own against the demon of Kirigakure? Kiba. Shino. Hinata-chan. Jigi. We will take that mission. The sudden outburst of Naruto shocked everyone in the room. Iruka was the first one to revive from the shock. Don't be a fool, Naruto. That mission shall be declared at least B rank, and there's no way you're qualified enough to take it. Does it look like I fucking care? Naruto snapped back in anger. He didn't even realize that he had just sworn in front of Iruka-sensei and everyone, but as he said, he didn't care. Right now my friends are in danger, and you expect me to just sit back and watch them die? Someone had taught me before, those who abandon their comrades in need are lower than trash. No matter what you say, I will not sit there and leave my friends alone to die. Iruka was almost thrown off balance. Not only because of Naruto's retort. Something about the boy was making him feel uneasy. The Naruto in front of him right now was not the same Naruto he used to know. Never before had he seen Naruto so angry. And mature, too. Those words could not be the words of a mere newly graduated Jonin. Looking at Naruto right now, Iruka couldn't help but imagining of a certain famous shinobi with spiky blonde hair, just like Naruto. Meanwhile, Kakashi was also shocked, but for a completely different reason. His visible eye locked at the frame of the blonde in front of him, gears seemed to grind madly inside his head. How did he know those words? This is interesting. We will take the mission. Sasuke's voice suddenly rose. In his face was a predator grin. Sakura hesitated. Sasuke-kun. I don't think our skill is enough for that kind of mission. This mission is a good way to prove my strength, Sasuke insisted. I want to see how good I am against a strong enemy. Naruto looked back at Sasuke, a wave of gratitude swept through his stomach. He didn't expect the other boy to support him like that. Although what Sasuke said did make him feel a bit on edge, he pushed the thought away. Right now, the mission was more important. Well, if Sasuke-kun said so, then I also have no problem, Sakura said after a deep breath. Iruka turned to Kakashi for support. Kakashi, say something. Team 7 is not good enough for this kind of mission. As he wished, Kakashi opened his mouth. Very well. Team 7 accepts the mission, Hokage-sama. Iruka almost fainted. But Kakashi. Iruka, remember that those three are not your students anymore, Kakashi cut him short. They are my soldiers now, and I know what to do with them. I believe they can handle whatever they are going to face in a mission like this. Besides, he gave a nice smile, they have me with them. Iruka seemed like he wanted to say some more, but he was cut short again, this time by the Hokage. Very well, Kakashi, I hereby assign the mission to give Team 8 reinforcement as Team 7's first official B rank. I expect you to depart within 1 hour, without any delay. Do you understand? Yes, Hokage-sama. Realizing the seriousness of the event, Sakura and Sasuke rushed out of the room back to their respective homes for preparation. Naruto was going to follow them before Kakashi's hand grasped his shoulder firmly. Naruto, we need to talk. The eye smile from before was completely gone. Naruto gulped, a bead of sweat started to fall from his temple. Okay, sure. But I think we will have to tell Gigi about this first. No, seriously, I won't try to run away. An hour later, Team 7 assembled at the main gate of the village, fully equipped. Summoning Jutsu. Pakun, Kakashi's personal ninken, appeared in a puff of smoke. What's up, Kakashi? He raised his paw. What kind of mission is it that you have to require my assistance? Kakashi's face was full of seriousness. Pakun, I need you to track down the position of Team 8, led by Kurenai. Can you do it? Kurenai? Isn't that the beauty with red eyes that you like, Kakashi? Alright, wait a minute. Naruto snickered. Kakashi-sensei likes Kurenai-sensei? Really? The glare of Kakashi immediately shut him up. Found them. They're in the border between the land of fire and the land of wave, and are moving at a slow speed. We can catch up with them in 2 hours if we go full speed. The dog at his feet suddenly exclaimed. Kakashi nodded, and turned back to his Jinan. Alright everyone, this is the first high-ranked mission you are about to take part in, he said in an unusually serious tone. In his voice, there was no trace of his usual laziness. Instead, it was full of power and professionalism. I have to tell you, this is not like any mission you have done before. It will likely include fighting, injuries, and even death. Are you sure you really want to do it? If you don't, you can turn back and go home right now, and I will not make you hold any responsibility. No one budged. Kakashi nodded in satisfaction. Good. Now if everyone is ready, go. The command echoed through the woods around, and the 4 shinobi and their dog took off. Kurenai cursed inwardly while struggling to hold her breath inside her assailant's water prison. Since their departing from Konoha, she had felt something very wrong was going to happen during their mission. And after meeting the Demon Brothers, her dreaded feeling was proven to be true. And she had made the terrible mistake of allowing the mission to continue, though she had also sent a letter requesting reinforcement back to Konoha. She just didn't expect to run into Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the hidden mist, of all people. Since the start of their battle, the difference in their power had been proven to be too much. As a genjutsu specialist, her other skills couldn't hope to compare to those of Zabuza. And now look at what that devil had done. Shino was lying on the ground, his Kikai insect hive completely exhausted. Kiba and Akamaru were smashed into a tree nearby, with Akamaru unconscious, and Kiba holding his ribs in pain. And she was trapped inside this water sphere, waiting for death. The only defense of their client right now was Hinata. The girl's Byakugan were activated, but her limbs were trembling like crazy. I must admit, you are not called the Genjutsu Mistress of Konohagakure for nothing, Kurenai Yuhi. But even that, you are still no match for me. A normal human could only hold her breath for about 3 minutes. If she can't do anything to get out of the water, she will be drowned. Kurenai's body was screaming out in protest. It had reached its limit, and all muscles and organs inside her was convulsing under the pressure and lack of air. Her consciousness was gradually slipping away. "Now, you'll stay there quietly when I kill the bridge builder." Kurenai could only watch helplessly when the water clone of Zabuza took its form and started walking towards the client and her genins, sword raised high. The reinforcement didn't arrive in time. It's over. There's no way they could escape now. They would all be killed. She had failed as a Jonin sensei. The gigantic cleaver was brought down in a deadly arc, and it was stopped dead in its way with a loud clang. Never before had Kurenai felt so relieved hearing the sound of steel clashing against steel. Thank goodness. Reinforcement has finally arrived. Then everything went dark around her. Hinata was terrified. The truth is, she is by no means a weak fighter. With her Byakugan and Juukan, she can kill almost anyone she wants with just a quick slap to their chest. And her speed and flexibility are nothing to be underestimated, either. With all those skills, she definitely has the potential to become one of the most deadly kunoichi in the world. But that's only if she wants to. Hinata hates fighting. Being a meek and gentle girl, she doesn't want to hurt anything, or anyone, even if it is her enemy. Because of that, despite being in the Hyuga clan, a clan specializes in murdering people with their finger pokes of doom, her great anti-jutsu was just mediocre comparing to other students during her academy time. Because of that, everyone in the clan laughs at her, and even her own father despises her, calling her the failure of Hyuga clan. And because of that, she is the weakest link in teammates' formation. And right now she was trembling like crazy when the masked assassin descended at her with his giant cleaver raising high. "Sorry little girl. I don't like killing children, but you're in my way. So you're going to die now." She closed her eyes, waiting for the consequence. The blade was brought down on her head. She heard Kiba screaming her name, Shino grunting in pain, and footsteps coming from behind her. Spiky blonde hair flashed through her mind. "Naruto-kun. I'm sorry." A loud clang echoed through her ears, and she suddenly felt her body being lifted off the ground. She snapped her eyes open, only to see that all she could see was the spiky blonde hair she had just imagined. "Sorry Hinata-chan, am I late?" Team 7 had arrived in time. Yeah, it was Kakashi who jumped out to block the sword of the Zabuza clone right before it chopped Hinata in half and destroyed it with a quick slash of his kunai. And it was Naruto, well, more exactly a clone of him, who grabbed the girl and jumped away from the battlefield. It would have been an awesome heroic princess rescuing scene which can only be seen in cliché shoujo anime. Had Naruto carried Hinata in some other way rather than a fireman's lift. Well, can't blame him, he is Naruto anyway. Naruto is always an idiot when it comes to romance. Go die in hell, author. Did I tell you not to break the fourth wall, Naruto? And if I die, you will not exist anymore. Well, you're not my creator anyway. But I'm the one writing this story. Ah, touché. Zabuza sneered when looking at his new opponent. Ah, Kakashi of the Sharingan. The man who has copied over 1000 jutsu. Such an honor of me to face someone as famous as you. Zabuza Momochi, known as Demon of the Hidden Mist, Kakashi answered. I have to ask you to release the woman you're trapping inside your water prison, or else I'll have to kill you. He finished, and pulled his Hitai-8 up, revealing his Sharingan. Oh? I'd like to see you try, Zabuza laughed, and squeezed his hand a bit. Inside the ball of water, Kurenai gasped in pain, air bubbles poured out of her mouth at a dangerous pace. At this rate she would die of asphyxiation in a minute. Approach me, and the woman will die immediately. If you don't, she will die in a few minutes. Now which way do you choose, Kakashi of the Sharingan? Zabuza taunted, and Kakashi gritted his teeth. Hostage. Damn it. I won't be able to save Kurenai and defeat him at the same time. What should I do now? Neither. What? A Fuuma shuriken flew out of the forest behind them, aiming at Zabuza's face. Of course, Zabuza caught it easily with his free hand. Ha! As if such a silly trick of some snot-nosed Jonin could even touch me. Then the shuriken turned into Naruto, who started dogpiling him with clones. A lot of clones. What? Wah! What the? Get off me, brat. The Naruto clones just grinned, before grabbing his arms and legs, trying to push Zabuza down into the water below him with all their combined weight. Damn you. After a while, Zabuza had enough. His chakra exploded violently, throwing all the Naruto clones away in a gust. He reached out his vacant hand, grabbing the handle of his sword and swung hard, slamming at the real Naruto and sending the boy flying like a baseball. The blonde boy hit the ground with a loud thud, and some sickening cracks echoed through the air. Smirking behind his bandage, Zabuza formed a one-handed seal, intending to mold chakra to form a water clone to finish the boy off. Only for a fist to drill itself into his face. This time, it was Zabuza who was sent flying, his hand were ripped away forcefully from the water prison. Without its chakra source, the ball of water melted away, releasing Kurenai who was nearly dead inside it. Holding the unconscious woman in his hand, Kakashi turned back to Zabuza, who was now struggling to get his body out of the water. Killing intent blasting out of his body was so massive it seemed to be visible like a raging flame. "I'll show you, Zabuza," he said coldly, "that no one is gonna mess with Kakashi Hatake's students and get away with it. 2 advices for you: do not try to get on Kakashi's nerves when he is angry. And do not, ever in your life, try to kill his students. Especially when the student is Naruto Uzumaki. If you want to know why, ask Zabuza. He'll tell you what it feels to be curb-stomped by the Sharingan user. And being blasted in the face by a giant fire hose in the form of a dragon is only the tip of the iceberg. The fact that Kakashi wasn't stuck inside the water prison for about 10 minutes with his Sharingan out wastefully didn't help Zabuza in any way. For the sake of underage readers, pregnant women, elders with heart problems, and ridiculously cute critters, the author would prefer to be excused from describing this fight thoroughly in this story due to its brutality. If Hokage hadn't saved him in time by piercing his neck with Senbone to shut his body down temporarily, he would have been murdered for real. The masked fake hunter nin landed on the ground in front of them, and turned to check up on Zabuza's seemingly dead body. Then he turned back to the group and bowed. "Thank you for your assistance, Konoha nin. I've searched for him for a few months, and now I can finally finish my mission." "You're one of Kirigakura's hunter nin, right?" Kakashi asked. Being too focused on his own battle, he hadn't noticed the existence of the newly arrived shinobi until now. The hunter nin nodded. "Yes, and since my mission has been completed, I have to dispose of this body. It contains too many secrets, and I cannot let it fall into possession of other villages. Farewell." And the hunter nin flickered away together with the body. Kakashi's eyes narrowed, but then he sighed and pulled his Hitai down, covering his Sharingan up. The battle was over, and there was no reason to worry the Genin anymore today, after what they had been suffered. "You also noticed it, right, Kakashi-sensei?" Kakashi almost jumped when he heard Naruto's quiet whisper right next to him. He nodded quietly, understanding what the blonde wanted to say. "Then why didn't you go after them?" Kakashi sighed. "I'm almost out of chakra. Besides, Kurenai and her team need some rest after what happened today. And what about you, Naruto? I heard some nasty cracks from your body over there." "Nah, I'm fine. At least this time you're not unconscious, sensei," Naruto chuckled. "Well, I will be if we do not have something to eat and a bed to rest soon," Kakashi smiled back. "So how about you go and help the other? It might be better if we arrive at our client's house before sunset." Naruto nodded, and started going back to the others, who was now busy with Kurenai and other members of Team 8, but not before taking a quick glance at the end of the trail again. "Just wait for me. This time I will not let any one of you die. Believe it." Tsunami was horrified when a bunch of people she didn't know stumbled at her front door, all looked like they had just crawled out of a minefield. "By Kemi! What in the world had just happened?" she exclaimed in disbelief, slapping a hand to her mouth. But everyone, well, maybe almost everyone, was too exhausted to answer her question. Finally, Tazuna said, after catching his breath. "Tsunami, these are the ninja escorting me. Please treat them properly. We've been through a very hard day." How is Kurenai-sensei, Kakashi-sensei?" Kakashi looked at the timid Hyuga and smiled. "She'll be fine. She's drained herself out, but nothing a few days of rest cannot fix. Right now she's sleeping, so don't disturb her." The girl let out a sigh in relief. "Thank goodness. Oh, and how are your teammates doing?" Kakashi remembered. "I think they were hurt pretty bad out there." They're fine, I think." Hinata shook her head. "Shino-kun's bugs are exhausted. And Kiba-kun and Akamaru. They are quite beaten up. But I think they're not hurt too much. At least, no bone is broken." "Ah, that's great." Kakashi's facial muscles relaxed. "Then let's go check up on them, shall we? I don't know much about medical jutsu, but I can still help patching them up." For the first time in the day, Hinata smiled. "Thank you, Kakashi-sensei." And she was able to complete a sentence without stuttering, too. "Well, I hate to tell you this, but I suspect that Zabuza is still alive." Kakashi's words were nothing less than a bomb dropped in the middle of the quiet room. "What do you mean, sensei?" Sakura blinked. Kakashi nodded solemnly. Senbone is the type of weapon with the lowest probability of killing the target. Furthermore, I didn't have the time to check Zabuza's body to ensure that he was dead. And Hunter Nin's job is usually to destroy the body of a ninja right in the battlefield to ensure that secrets in that body don't fall into enemy's hand. In fact, I've never seen a Hunter Nin carrying a dead body away like that. Connecting all those evidences. Yeah, there is a very high possibility that Zabuza is still alive. For a while, the room was silent. And by silent, I meant completely, utterly silent. There was absolutely no sound. Even the sound of breathing was absent. It seemed like time itself had stopped during that moment. Then total pandemonium broke out. "Ah! Zabuza is still alive. We're going to die!" screamed Kiba hysterically, while running around the room like there was a train chasing after him. Sasuke and Shino cringed at the same time and jumped out of their seat, both ready to defend themselves with whatever they had, Sasuke with weapons, and Shino with his newly revived Kikai bugs. Sakura's and Hinata's faces were as white as chalk, and they started to tremble uncontrollably. It seemed they could faint if anyone touched them on the shoulders at that moment. Kakashi's sweat dropped. You guys, I didn't say that." Screams cut him short. Had it not been for the fact that almost everyone was scared shitless, the scene in the room right now would have been incredibly funny. "Calm the fuck down, all of you." After 5 minutes, Kakashi had enough. He exploded, and everyone in the room cringed. Yes, even Naruto. Realizing that he had just spewed out profanities in front of the Genin, Kakashi cleared his throat awkwardly and continued. "Well, as I have just said, Zabuza is still alive. And together with him is the mysterious ninja who rescued him. The problem is, we don't know how strong that ninja really is, and what kind of ability he or she has. And Kurenai is still unconscious, and might be unable to fight in a few days. But luckily for us, the wounds of Zabuza were also very severe, and I think he cannot show his face in less than a week and a half. Because of that, starting from tomorrow, I'll give all of you training to improve your abilities in case Zabuza attacks again, which no doubt will happen in a few more days. Together with that, we will take turn guarding our client when he goes to the bridge for work. Do you understand?" Everyone nodded. Kakashi's face relaxed. "Good. Now everyone, go to sleep immediately. We have much work to do in the morning." When Kakashi left the room, Sakura whispered. "Wow, Kakashi-sensei just got serious. I can't believe I would live to see the day he's not lazy." Poor Sakura. She had underestimated the hearing ability of a Jonin. And Kakashi definitely didn't leave the room far enough to not hear what she had just said. The next morning, the Konoha group, minus Kurenai, of course, assembled in a clearing in the forest behind the house. "Alright, before we start training, I need to know what you can do first. I'm not your Jonin-sensei, so I cannot get a grasp of your ability yet. You first, Shino." The glassed boy answered. "I can use my clan's insect jutsu." "And?" Kakashi nodded, waiting for the boy to continue. But he didn't. The excitement of Kakashi withered away. "You don't know any other jutsu except your clan jutsu?" The boy shook his head slightly. "I can do basic academy ones, too. My chakra is mainly used to feed and grow my hive." Kakashi sighed. "Figures. Kiba?" "Yeah. I have been trained in my clan's unique taijutsu. And I got Akamaru, too." The dog boy hollered, and Akamaru whined in agreement. "Oh, and I also know basic academy jutsu," he added. Kakashi nodded. "That will do. And you, Hinata?" The timid girl started hesitantly. I have my Byakugan. And I know the basic of Juoken. But I'm not very good." "I see," Kakashi nodded in understanding, as expected from a Hyuga. So that was the idea of Kurenai when she chose a team with 2 taijutsu users who are only capable of using their clan's techniques, and 1 supporter using only insect ninjutsu. This is gonna be a problem. "Why is that, sensei?" Sakura asked in confusion. Kakashi sighed. "Because teammate was selected by Kurenai to be a reconnaissance team, Sakura. And the role of a reconnaissance team in combat is different from that of an assault team. Usually, during battles, the mission of a reconnaissance team is to confirm the location of enemies, report it back to the assault squads and then retreat quietly without engaging. Because of that, their battle capabilities are mostly lower than other teams. Well, maybe higher than a team full of medics, but still. Hey! How dare you underestimate us? We're much better than that loser over there." Kiba barked in rage, while pointing at Naruto, who in protest. Even Hinata seemed to be a bit upset at the Jonin's remark. I didn't mean it like that, Kiba. What I meant here is, as a reconnaissance team, you are not the type of shinobi who are suitable for frontal assault, Kakashi countered with a professional voice. Hinata and Shino, you two possess jutsu which are capable of silent assassination. And you, Kiba, you have the ability to pinpointing your enemy's location precisely in the shadow and finish them off in one strike. Those skills allow you to be specialists in scouting and assassination in close range. But against enemies with heavy mid-ranged and long-ranged firepower, such as Zabuza, you don't have any skills which can be used against them. Am I right about that? The Jonin's statement hit bullseye. Having nothing else to say, Kiba grumbled unhappily. Well, that's true. But does it mean that you can't train us? Hinata stammered, her eyes were full of worry. Kakashi scratched his cheek. Well, not quite. It's true that I cannot turn you into an assault team in such a short time, but right now I can train you in some basic skills that will help you survive in a battle. Now, have any of you learned the tree walking exercise? Hinata and Shino raised their hands. Kakashi nodded. Good. Then while Kiba train on that skill, a shadow clone of me will train you two in your movement and reflex. And the real me will go with Sasuke and Naruto to guard Tazuna. Sensei, what about me? Sakura raised her voice, confused as her name wasn't mentioned. Oh, don't worry Sakura. Your basics are not bad. Even, your chakra control is perfect, considering you have completed both the tree climbing and water walking exercises so quickly. However, you have two major weaknesses, which is your fragile body and lack of stamina. Therefore, in your training, I will mainly push your body to the limit to improve it. Which reminds me. Kakashi bit his finger, then weaved through hand seals. Summoning jutsu. Smoke filled the air, but when it dispersed, not only Pakun, but a whole pack of hunting dogs appeared in front of the group. And their teeth were dripping with saliva. Sakura, Kakashi gave her an eye smile. You'd better start running now. Oh, and you guys, he told the dogs, don't stop chasing her until I tell you to. The poor girl could only scream and run for her life when the pack of predators leapt at her, fangs bared. All the remaining Shinon couldn't help sharing the same thought. Kakashi-sensei is such a sore loser. This sucks. Yeah. At least Sakura got to train. Sasuke and Naruto were sulking at the side of the huge construction which was going to be the Great Bridge. Yeah, they understood that because they're the better ones in the group, they should leave the training opportunity to the others who were not as good as them. But this was just torture. Never in his life had Naruto felt so bored. Yeah, in his timeline, Naruto had never had to go for a shift in the construction zone. Whenever his teammates went for it, Naruto would have either gone for training or lain unconscious in Tazuna's house. And that made it even worse. Sometimes being too good will just come back and bite you in the ass. Ah. That's it. Naruto finally snapped. Completely lost his patience, he bolted up, and kicked a boulder next to him. Crack ahhh. Phew-kuk. My toes. Sasuke facepalmed, shaking his head. Idiot. There are other ways more effective to entertain yourself rather than smashing your foot against rocks, Naruto, Kakashi said amusedly. He had just arrived in time to see Naruto break his toes on the rock. The boy glared at him, jumping around on one leg. Oh yeah? We're definitely not going to read your porn to amuse ourselves, thank you very much. Ouch, Kakashi sighed. How many times do I have to tell you that it was not mere porn? And anyway, you don't have to always move your body around to train. Here. He pulled out a piece of chakra paper and gave it to Sasuke. The Uchiha boy blinked. What am I supposed to do with that? Channel chakra into it. It will show what element your chakra is. Sasuke blinked again. But I know I have fire already. Well, who knows, the Jonin smiled. Just try it, maybe we'll have a surprise. Sasuke looked at him incredulously, but complied anyway. The paper crumpled into a ball, and then caught fire until it became a pile of ash at his feet. Kakashi blinked. Fire and lightning. Two of the most destructive elements, and very powerful too. Well, Shinon usually do not have this many when they've just graduated. But I'm not surprised, considering what Naruto has. Huh? What element do you have, Dobi? Naruto answered nonchalantly. Oh, I have wind, water, earth, fire and lightning. Sasuke's eyes bugged out. What? You have all five? How is that possible? Dunno, Naruto shrugged, it's just kinda happened. Damn it. How could you be so powerful? It's not fair. Sasuke gritted his teeth. Says the one who is going to have the Uber Hacks Sharingan with the ability to copy every jutsu, seeing everything in slow motion and blah 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 whatever more I don't know, Naruto snorted in retort, and Sasuke winced. Well, you got a point. But still. If Naruto hadn't known better, he could have sworn that Sasuke was pouting. Alright, you two. Kakashi grabbed the boy's shoulders and turned them back to the story. The fact that you have natural affinities from birth doesn't mean much as you advance in your career. You can even gain all of them if you train yourself hard enough. In fact, the third Hokage was born with fire element, but during his reign as Hokage, he mastered all 5 affinities and was incredibly competent with all of them. Wow, really? Naruto blinked in surprise. That was a piece of information he hadn't known. I didn't expect Gigi to be that strong. He isn't known as the god of shinobi for nothing, Naruto. Kakashi I smiled. But enough talking. Sasuke, you're lucky that my main affinity is lightning, so I already have the training program of yours in my mind. Naruto, how's your wind element training going? Hee hee, piece of cake. Watch, Naruto flashed his trademarked foxy grin. He grabbed a leaf on the ground and channeled his chakra through it. The leaf split in half. Hey, wait a second, Sasuke suddenly asked. In his voice, there was a hint of anger. Why did Naruto have elemental training before me? Oh, it's because he asked me first, Kakashi answered. Sasuke fumed. Again? Why do I need to ask for everything I want? And why do you think you don't, Sasuke? Kakashi countered with a sharp voice. In this world, you're in no position to order people to give you what you want. People will only hand you things because they want to. If you want something, you have to ask for it first, and wait to see if they're willing to give it to you or not. If they aren't, scram. You don't have the right to force people to hand things to you. No one has. Sasuke winced again. Those words were just like what Naruto had told him the other day. Naruto slapped him on the back. Oh, chill out, team. At least you were properly trained in fire element already, so if there was anyone who should be jealous, it would be me, not you. Touché. Sasuke muttered. Alright, now as all the disputes have been settled, let's get to training, shall we? Kakashi smiled. Sasuke, get a leaf on that tree over there and try to make it wrinkled with your chakra alone, like this. He grabbed a leaf and channeled chakra through it. It crumpled. And Naruto, since you have completed the first step already, and we have no waterfall here. I've done waterfall cutting, too, but it doesn't seem very good. Naruto interrupted. Kakashi's visible eye widened. That fast? Very well, if it comes to this. He looked around, and pointed below the construction zone. Try to cut the river in half, and we'll see. Naruto followed his finger, and sweat dropped. You've gotta be kidding me. Sasuke and Naruto pushed the door open, only to find the others lying half dead behind it. Holy shit, Naruto gaped. Did Zabuza attack you guys? Kakashi-sensei is worse than Zabuza, Kiba muttered, and smashed his face on the ground. He was too exhausted to even keep speaking. What did he make you do? Sasuke raised his eyebrow. Only Sakura had enough energy left to groan. 10 kilometers of running non-stop, then 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats. Continuously. Ooh, Naruto winced. That's brutal. Hope you won't lose all your hair because of that. But I think we should stop talking, Sensei's coming. At that moment, Kakashi and Tazuna stepped into the room. I see that you all survived. Good, Kakashi nodded with a smile. Then tomorrow we will continue, and if possible, I will push it another level further. Everyone groaned. From that day onwards, Sakura couldn't decide that she hated Kakashi more when he was lazy or when he finally became serious. Why do you try so hard? You're all gonna be killed. Everyone lifted their eyes off their dinner to see Inari scowling at the door. Tsunami exclaimed in relief. Inari. Where have you been? I thought something happened to you. What do you mean when you say we're gonna be killed, brat? Kiba asked. The next time we face that masked bastard, we'll show them who is boss. Right, Akamaru? The white dog barked in agreement. Humph, Inari sneered bitterly. No one can beat Gato. No matter how hard you train, you're still no match for his men. When facing the strong, the weak will only end up getting killed. Whatever, kid, Naruto yawned. After this training, the weak ones will no longer be us anymore. And we will save the land of Wave from Gato. Shut up. Stop talking like you understand about this country. Inari screamed, tears started to roll down his cheeks. You ninjas are always goofing around, you don't know how hard life can be. Stop trying to be heroes. There is nothing as a hero anyway. Everyone suddenly felt an ominous flare of rage. Naruto stood up, and walked towards Inari. His eyes were red and slitted. Slap. Inari was sent flying and slammed into the wall. It's needless to say how surprised and shocked everyone in the room was upon Naruto's sudden outburst. Sakura bolted up from her seat. "Naruto! Why did you?" Naruto glared back at her, and Sakura flinched under the gaze of her teammate. Never before had she seen Naruto so angry. Even the rage in the conference room 2 days ago was nothing comparing to this. "Don't worry, I held back," Naruto said coldly. Then he turned back to Inari. "You know what, brat? If you as well as everyone of this village keep that attitude, you'll be stuck with Gato for at least half a century more. Posing as the star of the tragedy and crying all day won't help you taking down tyrants." And about that latter statement, he growled dangerously. "Don't ever think that only you have a hard life. There are many people in this world who have hells of a life comparing to yours. At least you still have a mother and a grandfather who care for you." Then he kicked the door open. Hinata called after him worriedly. "Wait, Naruto-kun. Your dinner." "Sorry Hinata-chan, but I lost my appetite. I need to let my stress loose for a while. Don't go look for me." And with that, Naruto walked out of the house into the darkness, leaving behind 11 pairs of eyes which were all staring at his disappearing back. Aura. Tree bark flew everywhere after another failed attempt of Naruto's other signature jutsu slammed into the trunk. Naruto slumped down on the ground. His chakra reserve was considerably larger than that of even his mature body, but it wasn't unlimited. After so many failures of using the Rasengan, he had begun to feel the burden of chakra exhaustion. And pain was wrecking through his body as if a truck had just hit him. "Damn it. After all those chakra control practices, I still can't use it properly. And why does my body hurt so much?" Those words of Inari. Just remembering about it sent pain through his heart. Now, hearing it directly from the boy's mouth again, it hurt even worse. He knew that the boy didn't really mean it, but still. "Even if you're upset, you shouldn't exhaust yourself like that, Naruto. We don't want you to lie unconscious during the whole mission, right?" He didn't have to turn back to know the owner of that voice. "I told you that you shouldn't go look for me, Kakashi-sensei." Kakashi stepped into the clearing. He looked around. "Rasengan, huh? So what you said about coming from the future is not a farce, I see. I told you," Naruto smirked tiredly. Kakashi sat down on the ground beside him. "However, using such a jutsu in a large scale will wear you down very quickly. Just take it easy and have a break, will you?" He patted the ground, and Naruto let his body fall on the bed of grass. "It's hard to believe I could ever see you guys once more," he mouthed. Kakashi smiled sadly. He understood how hard it had been to Naruto when Inari barked those words at his face, considering he had been from an apocalyptic future where all his precious people had been killed right in front of him. He started, trying to change the subject. "So, how am I in the future?" Naruto chuckled. "Still a lazy one, and a porn addict, but you could be serious when the situation needs you to. You have. I don't know. The Mangekyo Sharingan, with a jutsu called Kamui which can open a black hole on the air and suck everything into it. Well, during my time, someone told me that you had to kill someone close to you to achieve it, but no, I don't think you're someone who did something like that to your friend." And he couldn't finish his sentence. He didn't want to remind himself again how Kakashi was killed by the hand of Madara. Kakashi grimaced. He already knew that he had the Mangekyo Sharingan, and he also knew exactly who he had killed to get it. And that's the reason why he had never wanted to use it, despite whatever powers it might bring him. His lack of chakra to use the technique even once didn't help, either. "I'm not as good as you think, Naruto," he said solemnly. "During one mission, my teammate Rin was captured by Karagakure and turned into the Sanbi's Jinchuriki. They planned to unleash the beast in the middle of Konoha to destroy it from the inside. And to protect the village." Kakashi's voice quivered. "She plunged herself right into my Chidori. I couldn't stop. I killed her." Kakashi's voice shook and died. Naruto's eyes widened. All those times. He had never known. Never bothered to ask. "So that's the reason why Obito flipped out like that," Kurama said. She was also shocked by Kakashi's story. He must have seen that happen somehow. "No. That's impossible." Everyone inside Naruto's head turned to Isabu, the one who had just raised his voice. Beads of sweat were rolling down his face, and his eyes were full of realization. In beast form, his face was covered with hard shell, so they couldn't see its color, but they're sure that if they could, it would be covered in white. "What do you mean, Iso-kun?" Chome asked. Isabu nodded grimly. I've never had a female Jinchuriki in my life. There is no way someone can seal me into a Jinchuriki without me knowing about it. Kakashi and Obito had both been tricked. If the news that Zabuza was alive was a bomb, the information Isabu had just brought them would be just like a nuclear warhead being detonated in the middle of Naruto's mindscape. Damn it, Gyuki cursed. It must have been that aloe vera guy of Akatsuki. People said that his transformation was perfect and couldn't be detected even by Dujutsu. If that's the case, making some clones of that Rin girl and some mist cannon fodders would just be a child's play to him. Naruto's face went wide in shock and anger. Kurama, can you check the surrounding for eavesdroppers? Huh? There's no one around here except for you two. But... The vixen's eyes widened. You were going to tell him. I have to do it. There is no reason to keep Kakashi-sensei mourning about something he didn't do. What? Are you crazy? Shukaku protested. There's no telling what will happen if someone else knows that information. If the Akatsuki knows about it. I believe in Oniai-chan. This time, every head turned to Saikyo, the one who had just blurted out those words. It's just like Udakata Nikan again. Saikyo hung her head. It's because of something I did that he couldn't live a day without regret. I don't want something like that to happen again. All the other tailed beasts winced. They had all known about the accident of Udakata in the shared mindscape before, and they understood how their little sister had felt when the Jinchuriki she loved and respected as a brother almost killed himself because of something he hadn't even known about. You were right. Gyuki finally nodded. I think leaving him in the dark will cause more harm than benefit. Hey, just leave it to the little sister to come up with a brilliant idea, Shukaku chuckled. Saikyo blushed. Alright, then. Naruto inhaled sharply. Kakashi-sensei, there is something I need to tell you. Silence filled the air for a while after Naruto told Kakashi the story. Then, screams of bloody murder could be heard echoing through the forest. At the same time, a certain Uchiha who was sitting in the realm of the dead, waiting to be revived suddenly cringed. What do you mean I cannot go into tailed beast mode? It was almost a week since the ambush in the forest. Everyone was progressing nicely. Sasuke had quickly gotten the hang of his lightning element, and was now struggling on the second step of his training. Sakura's stamina, strength, chakra reserve and taijutsu had all improved drastically thanks to the brutal training sessions of Kakashi, and now she was starting on her chakra nature, which was checked by Kakashi and identified as Earth. Kurenai had mostly recovered, and she was now training Team 8 in ambush tactics, as well as improving their teamwork and their clan abilities even more. It could be said that Team 8 would be a match for Team 7 when it came to fighting as a team right now, if they went all out. Therefore, the declaration of Kurama to Naruto was nothing less than a hammer to his head. Sheesh, could you be a little bit louder? There might be someone 50 miles away who didn't hear you, Kurama answered sarcastically. We're in my mind, Naruto deadpanned. Kurama snorted. And I didn't say you couldn't, she added, it's just your body cannot handle something like the tailed beast mode at the moment. Why? Naruto blinked. I've used your chakra for a very long time, haven't I? Using our chakra is one thing, but going full tailed beast is different from just a little chakra, Naruto-kun, Muratabi said. The full beast form is basically using all of our chakra at the same time to create an avatar of ourselves using the body of the Jinchuriki as a base. Because of that, the strain each time you go full form is incredibly great. A human's body is not strong enough to handle all those chakra at the same time, you know. That's why Jinchuriki only go full form as a last resort, when their enemies are so powerful they cannot fight them with normal skills. With your child body right now, going full form means crippling your body from chakra overload. That, and there is another reason, Kokuo chimed in. In order to go full form, the beast and the Jinchuriki have to perfectly synchronize their minds together. With Kurama, you might have reached that state already, considering how long she had been sealed inside you. But with us, you will need some more time before we can achieve perfect unison. Without that, there is only one way to go full beast, which is letting us take over your body completely, which will kill you. Naruto shuddered. So that's why Uro-sanin only focused on training my body during those 3 years. Then he pouted. But that's not fair. That means I cannot use the tailed beast bomb. What if some powerful enemies show up? How can I beat them without your ultimate skill? Muratabi glared at Gyuki. You just have to go and tell him that, did you? Gyuki scratched his head sheepishly. Don't listen to what that musclehead Gyuki said, Naruto, Kokuo said. Sure, the tailed beast bomb is a very powerful attack, but that's not our greatest skill. The ultimate power we tailed beasts granted Jinchuriki is the ability we inherited from the Juubi, creation of all things. Naruto's face twisted into an odd look. What is that creative? Whatever. Thing? We can create things from our chakra. Chome chirped happily. Yeah, that's basically it. Kokuo nodded in agreement. It's the ability that allows us to create things from chakra alone. Remember the staff and those orb things Obito created when he first created the incomplete Juubi? We can do something similar to that. We can help our Jinchuriki to create wings to fly, gills to swim underwater, ink to write, and even weapons to fight with. They're not as potent as the weapons the Juubi creates, but they're still very useful. Then the horse chuckled. Ironically, it is also the technique that created us in the first place, you know. Our father, the Sage of Six Paths, is a master of this technique. He can create almost anything with only his imagination and chakra. If anyone looked at Naruto's eyes at the moment, they would surely find stars sparkling in them. Well, in his mindscape, anyway. He's meditating in the outside world. So cool. Can you teach me that, please? Please, please, please. Everyone's sweat dropped. Hey, leave your study until later, Haku's behind you. Naruto's eyes snapped open, right in time to grab the extending arms next to his head and flipped the person behind him over his head, slamming the slim body to the ground. Gya? The kimono of his assailant was flipped open, revealing a pair of small white panties with absolutely no bulge under it. Oh, was the only smart word Naruto could blurt out before a scream pierced his ears and a hand landed on his right cheek. Real smooth, Naruto, real smooth. Kurama and the other girls face-pawed while the boys laughed their asses off. After some more cliché introduction scenes, Haku and Naruto was sitting on the ground facing each other. Both their faces were bright red. You shouldn't have done something like that to a girl, Naruto-kun, Muratabi scolded Naruto. He snapped back in embarrassment. Oh, come on. The last time we met, she told me she was a boy. How should I know that she really is a girl? Yeah, I know, the cat waved him off. But anyway, didn't you owe her an apology? Naruto sighed, shaking his head to clear the image of Haku's panties from his head. Damn you, author. I'm not a pervert. He inhaled deeply, and started. Haku-chan. I'm sorry for doing something like that to you. You know, you were just too quiet, and It's okay, Naruto-kun, Haku replied. Her face was still having a red tint. I just didn't expect to find someone here in the forest at this time. You know, you were just sitting there with your eyes closed. I thought you were sleeping, and... Yeah, hey, I'm just meditating, Naruto chuckled sheepishly. It's a good way to train my mind, you know. Haku rubbed her cheek with her finger. So with that hit I ate. You're a ninja, right? Wow, you're incredible. Naruto almost cringed. The smile of the girl in front of him. It was so... fake. The last person he saw with that kind of smile was Sai. His experiences with his ex-root friend had shown him how horrible someone's past was if they had that smile on their face. His stomach churned up. The last time they met, he hadn't been able to ask her about her past. What had Haku suffered in her childhood to make her like this? Hey, Naruto-kun? Are you alright? Naruto snapped back to reality, and realizing Haku was looking at him with a confused expression. He smiled awkwardly. Nothing. I was just thinking about something. Then he looked around, trying to find something else to talk about. Hey, those herbs. Are they for you? Haku shook her head. No, it's for someone who is very important to me. Zabuza, Naruto thought. Your parent, I guess? The girl let out another smile. But this time, Naruto could swear it was the most genuine smile he'd ever seen. It was full of happiness. No, but... in some ways, he's like a father to me. He has raised me since I was a child. She didn't say anything else, but Naruto knew she was telling the truth. Being an orphan himself, he understood the happiness of having someone who cared for him, even if it was only for their own benefit. No wonder why Haku loved Zabuza so much. Haku stood up, and grabbed her basket. Oh, I have to go now, Naruto-kun. It's so nice to meet you. I hope someday we will see each other again. Naruto stared after the retreating back of the girl, murmured. Yeah. I hope so too, Haku-chan. Gato-sama. We've found the profiles of those two ninja Taz and I hired. Gato looked at the two sheets of paper on his desk, his eyes narrowed. Kakashi Hatake. If what the paper said was true, that man would be the infamous copy ninja, the man who possessed the power of the Sharingan, and was rumored to have copied over 1,000 jutsu. That ninja would give even Zabuza a hard time in a battle, even if the missing nin was in full condition. And together with him was Kurenai Yuhi, the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha. Those two. Together, they might be able to spoil his plan of taking down Tazuna, and crushing the spirit of all citizens in the Land of Waves once and for all. He had to do something. His eyes caught the bounty on the two ninjas' head, and his mouth twisted into an evil grin. Spread the rumor that Zabuza Momochi, the devil of the hidden mist, Kakashi Hitake, the copy ninja of the Sharingan, and Kurenai Yuhi, the Genjutsu mistress of Konoha were spotted in the Land of Waves. Make sure that it reaches that man. When the thug was out of the room, Gato started to cackle. No one would get in the way of the CEO of Gato Company. Today was teammates' shift of guarding Tazuna at the construction zone. However, Kurenai had wanted to teach Kiba and Shino some more about cooperating attacks, so Kakashi, Sasuke and Sakura had volunteered of taking their shift instead. Sasuke because his training didn't require him to stay in one place, and Sakura because she wanted to escape from the hell training of Kakashi for a day. But when they reached the bridge, a horrible scene unveiled in their eyes. All the workers in the construction zone were murdered brutally. Blood covered the half-completed bridge, and corpses littered around. Mist started filling the air. "He's here," Kakashi said, and the three Genin tensed up, their hands reached their weapon pouches. From inside the mist, the familiar form of Zabuza emerged. "Hello Kakashi. We meet again." "Zabuza," Kakashi mouthed, pulling his Hitai up, revealing his Sharingan. "So finally you decided to show yourself? I thought you would know better and hide your ass in some corner after that fight in the forest. You're just lucky during that battle that I didn't have my full strength," Zabuza sneered. "But this time you're not that fortunate. Today I'm not alone." He waved his hand, and the fake hunter nin from before appeared from inside the thick mist. Kakashi's eyes narrowed. "So that hunter nin really was your accomplice? Finally realized it, huh?" Zabuza smirked under his bandage. "But it's too late now. Haku, go." Without any word, Haku dashed forward, aiming at the bridge builder and the three Genin, Senbon ready on hand. And she was stopped by Sasuke, who jumped in her way and delivered a rolling kick to her face. Naturally, with her incredible reflex, Haku easily stopped mid-run and blocked the kick. Zabuza's eyes narrowed. "That brat can follow Haku's speed? Surprise, huh, Zabuza? But your opponent is me, not him." Zabuza's eyes started back, right in time for him to block Kakashi's swing of his kunai on his exposed neck. His maniacal grin couldn't be seen as it was hidden under the bandages. "Coming right at me, eh Kakashi? But when you do that..." He formed a hand seal with his free hand. "What will happen to the bridge builder and your little Genin, I wonder?" 4 water clones of Zabuza rose up from the ground, surrounding Sakura, Hinata, and Tazuna. Their swords were raised high, ready to strike down at the seemingly defenseless people. But Kakashi just chuckled. "I told you Zabuza, you have underestimated my Genin too much." 4 sickening thuds, and the clones collapsed back into water. Sakura stood firm in front of Tazuna and Hinata. Her right clenched fist was soaking wet. "Wow," she muttered in shock. "Did I just do what I think I did? She punched through my water clones? See that Zabuza? We didn't spend the last week doing nothing like you did." If it hadn't been for the mask hiding his mouth, people would have seen the triumphant smirk on Kakashi's face. Zabuza gritted his teeth. "Well, I admit that your Genin have developed quite nicely during the last week." But suddenly, his mouth morphed into a deadly grin under the bandage. "But you are too naive to think that only you have improved." Zabuza jumped away from Kakashi, while weaving through hand seals in a much faster speed than he did before. Both of Kakashi's eyes widened. "Oh shit." He also started going through hand seals, but Zabuza had nearly completed his own. There's no time to copy Zabuza's jutsu. He had to use another one. Water style, water dragon. Water style, water shark bomb. The two creatures made of water slammed into each other and exploded, making a torrent which poured down everyone's head. Sasuke's eyes widened when Haku formed a seal with her free hand. "Everyone. Be careful." Too late. Water style, 1,000 needles of death. All the water falling down suddenly stopped midair and turned into needles, all aiming right at Tazuna, Hinata, and Sakura. And worse, they're everywhere. From behind. In front. At sides. The deadly projectiles shot at the 3 people. There was no way for them to dodge. Earth style, mud wall. Moving as fast as he could, Kakashi appeared in front of the 3 and slammed his hands on the ground. A wall of mud rose around everyone, covering them completely from the needle assault. "Damn it. Even when separated, they can still assist each other effectively. And with Tazuna here, he grimaced while stealing a glance at the bridge builder. We're in a serious disadvantage. His train of thought was interrupted when Zabuza's Kubi Kirabocho sliced through the earth wall. This is not the time for you to sit there and daydream, Kakashi. Fuck. Was the only thought of Kakashi when he raised his kunai to block the deadly sword descending on his head. He grunted when the heavy blade clashed with the kunai, letting out a loud clang. If this continued, everyone would be killed. He must do something. The plan in his head right now was nothing but insanity. But if there was nothing they could do. Sasuke. Code 135. Sasuke's eyes widened. In Konohagakura's Shinobi Handbook, Code 135 was the order for luring enemies away from the battlefield. It meant that Kakashi wanted him to separate that hunter nin and Zabuza. But that also meant he had to take on that hunter nin alone. His mouth twisted into a smirk. This was the chance for him to prove himself against a powerful opponent. Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu. The signature jutsu of the Uchiha clan was launched at Haku at a surprisingly mediocre speed. The hunter nin's eyes narrowed. Is this a joke? She took a step aside, and the ball of fire flew past her without even touching her sleeve. But then she startled when Sasuke suddenly appeared right in front of her, his fist cocked back. So fast. Haku raised her hand to block the incoming punch, but a kick immediately followed, sending her tumbling. She staggered back, but the boy didn't stop his assault there. Haku was, by no means, bad at taijutsu, but she still found that she was being pushed further and further away from Zabuza. So their aim was to separate us. Haku narrowed her eyes under her mask. She pulled out a senbon from her sleeve while blocking another kick from Sasuke. It seems I have to finish you fast. Just try, Sasuke smirked. From now on, you will be the one who has to run from my attacks. Naruto yawned and opened his eyes. Bright, warm sunlight sneaked into the room through the cracks on the windows. It was a nice morning. He winced as pain racked through his head. Ugh. My head hurts. What happened? Do you even need to ask, Oni-chan? The voice of Saikyo echoed through his mind. You exhausted your own chakra last night to the very last drop. Do you know how dangerous that was? If it hadn't been for us inside you, you would have died. The slug's voice was full of irritation. Never before had Naruto heard her speaking in a tone like that. It's just like the voice of an angry mother when her child did something bad. Naruto chuckled. Don't worry, Saikyo-chan. I do that all the time, you know, and I still live. How bad can it be? Then he changed the topic, ignoring the slug whose cheeks seemed to be puffing out angrily. Say, where did everyone go? The house seems to be awfully quiet. It's 9 already, idiot, Shukaku deadpanned. Everyone has already gone for training and guarding the old man at the bridge. The only ones home right now are the lady and that Inari brat. A feeling of dread suddenly swept through Naruto's stomach. What happened? It feels just like I've forgotten something very important. Then he heard a crash in the kitchen below. Inari screamed vengeance, charged at the two rogue swordsmen head first, and got replaced by a log, which was cut into pieces. Naruto, carrying the boy by his waist, grinned foxily. You know, being a hero doesn't mean you have to rush in recklessly like that. Next to his feet, Tsunami was lying, still unconscious but wasn't harmed in any way. Inari's eyes widened in surprise and relief. And Naruto? So you're one of those losers called ninja that old bag hired, huh? One of the thugs smirked. Taking you back with us surely will give us some pretty bonus. He took a step forward, and drew his sword. But Naruto just waved his hand. Look behind you first. The two looked behind, only to see two planks smashed hard at their faces. They slumped down, fainted. Take that, idiots. Naruto and his two clones grinned cheekily. Loud footsteps rose from behind him. He turned back, and saw Kurenai, Shino and Kiba running towards him. The red-eyed Jonin only needed a glance to understand what had just happened. She looked at Naruto. They're from Gatos, right? If they dare to attack a civilian house like this place, it must be for hostages. It seems Tazuna-san is also in danger right now. Then let's go help Kakashi-sensei and the other. Kiba pumped his fist into the air. Everyone nodded in agreement. Oh, and Inari, Naruto remembered. Sorry about that slap earlier. You really are strong. I'm proud of you. He gave the boy a thumb up. We're going to the bridge to help your grandpa. Can we count on you here? Of course, Naruto-nikan, Inari said with a grin full of tears. Naruto turned back to everyone. Alright, he muttered. It's hero time. Ice style, demonic crystal ice mirrors. The ultimate technique of Haku. It creates a dome of mirrors which traps her enemy inside, and which Haku can move freely between so fast normal eyes cannot hope to catch a glimpse. Combining it with her incredible skill in senbon throwing, almost no enemy can escape death when facing her. And now, Sasuke Uchiha was being trapped inside the dome of mirrors. Kakashi's eyes narrowed when the dome of ice formed at the other side of the half-built bridge. What is that jutsu? Worried about your student, eh Kakashi? The mocking voice of Zabuza rose as if the man himself had read Kakashi's mind. You should be, because no one will ever get out of Haku's jutsu alive. Kakashi's spine froze. What? Furthermore, the smirk of Zabuza widened even more under the bandages. I think you should save that worrying for your other students. Realizing what Zabuza had just said, Kakashi yelled. Sakura. Hinata. Stay alert, there might be. Too late. From behind the two girls and the bridge builder, the demon brothers descended down on their heads, their claws raised high. Damn it. Naruto turned to the red-eyed Kunoichi who had just cursed. What's wrong, Kurenai-sensei? I just remembered that there has been no news of the demon brothers since we defeated them on the way to Waves, Kurenai muttered. If they are able to join Zabuza, I really cannot say what will happen. Naruto's heart jumped. In his timeline, Kakashi defeated those two in one hit, and they hadn't been hurt again since then. But what if they showed up again this time? I don't understand why you're so scared, he heard Isabu snorting. During my time in Karagakoa, I hadn't even heard of them. With those cannon fodders, how bad can it be? Speaking of Karagakoa, Kurama added, you always say that you will save Haku and Zabuza, but do you have any plan of how to do that? Nope. The thought of Naruto was too cheerful to be a denial. Kurama face-bombed. Why do I always have idiots as my Jinchuriki? Hey, I'm not that bad. Nah, don't worry. They'll become your friends after you beat their asses off. Maybe some full-power chakra beams of total destruction will help. Chome waved him off. Everyone stared at the beetle. What? That's how magical girls do when they want to befriend someone. Naruto silently made a vow to never let Chome and his children in the future go anywhere near manga or anime when they're together. It turned out that Isabu was too optimistic. The demon brothers, though not being as powerful as Jonin like Kakashi or Kurenai, were still at Chunin level. Cannon fodders or not, they're still forces that would give Jinan a hard time fighting. And facing them right now was Hinata, who was a shy girl who didn't like fighting, and Sakura, a still fangirl who had just started training seriously for about a week. Obviously, that didn't go so well. Had it not been for Hinata's Byakugan, which has the ability to see everything around their user, the two girls and the bridge builder would have been killed. Tazuna being there put them in another severe disadvantage. Being a mere civilian, standing in the middle of a ninja battle means putting yourself in danger of being killed or maimed brutally. The fact that he was the reason for that ninja battle didn't help, either. Therefore, what seemed to be the battle between the two missing nins and the two Jinan Kunoichi was only the two Kunoichi jumping and rolling and running around, trying desperately to avoid the ruthless assault coming from the huge gauntlets of the two masked ninja while holding the bridge builder out of their reach. Some kind of gross purple liquid was dripping menacingly from the claws onto the ground. Whatever it was, Sakura wouldn't want to touch it. Or let it touch her. She jumped back, pushing Tazuna out of the way when the deadly poisonous claw aimed right at the bridge builder's face again. I'm scared. Sakura thought, her legs trembled. I'm not as good as Naruto or Sasuke-kun. Am I gonna be killed here? She could feel fear starting creeping into her spine. It's not like she couldn't fight, but all the battles before were just normal sparring between classmates or teammates. She had never had a real fight in her life. Her fists had power, but that's all they had. All the training from Kakashi only helped her increase the strength of her body, not her battle experience. And right now, she was facing an enemy with a weapon designed to kill. What am I going to do now? Luckily for her, she didn't have to do anything. What's the matter, little girl? One of the missing nins taunted while swiping at Hinata's face. Too scared to even fight back a little? Yes, Hinata was scared. Of course she was scared. This was the first time she had to face an enemy alone. The last time, she had Kurenai-sensei and her friends Kiba and Shino next to her, always ready to back her up. Right now, Sakura had her own enemy to deal with, and behind her was a trembling bridge builder she had to protect with her life. This time, she was all alone. No one was here to help her. Even if there was someone, she would be dead before they arrived. Hinata. The girl startled when Kakashi's voice reached her ears. You are not weak. The Sharingan master yelled while struggling against Zabuza's huge sword. You just don't want to fight because you don't like hurting people. But if you continue holding back, Someday you won't be able to even protect the ones you love. Hinata's eyes widened. The ones I love. Oh. Flashback. Hinata let out a deep sigh after finishing her basic kata for Juoken. She relaxed her body, and sat down on a log nearby. The training sessions of Kakashi during the week were nothing but brutality. The Jonin had forced them to push through their limits, and although it hurt a lot, their bodies all became stronger, faster and more flexible than before. However, whenever it came to sparring, Hinata was still the worst. Her attacks, without applying chakra, were just harmless slaps. She just couldn't steel her heart enough to use Juoken on another person, let alone on her friends when they trained. Her mind and her soul just weren't ready for hurting people. Today, Kakashi-sensei had told her that she could take a rest. She was even excused from guarding duty at the construction zone. Never before during the week had the Jonin allowed anyone to rest like that. She thought of everything that happened. She thought of how useless she was during the fight with Zabuza in the forest. Could it be that, because of that, Kakashi-sensei didn't want her to fight anymore? Could it be that she was too weak? She was not material of kunoichi at all. Just like everyone said. Unable to hold herself together anymore, Hinata burrowed her face on her hands, and started crying. Hinata-chan? The girl almost jumped when Naruto's voice rose right next to her ear. Naruto-kun. She squeaked, wiping her eyes quickly with her sleeve, but the damage was already done. The blonde stared at her tearful face and frowned. What happened, Hinata-chan? Why are you crying? Did someone hurt you? No. It's nothing. She tried to scurry away from the boy, but all her efforts were in vain. Naruto grabbed her arms and pulled forcefully so that they were facing each other. Hinata-chan, you cannot lie to me. It's clear to me that you're sad about something. Please tell me, I'll help you if I can. I don't want to see you crying like this. Blue stared into white, and for a second, Hinata felt like something broke inside her. She broke into tears again. Warm, salty drops drenched her coat. I can't do it, she said between sobs. I cannot fight at all. Whenever I try to do something good, I end up being everyone's nuisance. Everyone was right. I'm just too weak. I don't deserve to be a ninja. Too busy crying, she didn't notice she had slumped onto Naruto's chest, wetting his shirt in process. She could hear someone called her name, Hinata-chan. Hinata-chan. But she didn't care. After letting out all her frustration, pain and despair, she thought the world was going to collapse around her. Hinata Hyuga, you are going to listen to me right now. Hinata was so shocked she stopped crying. And Naruto-kun. Hinata, Naruto said, and Hinata realized he didn't use the usual honorific. I don't believe you are weak. I remember during the academy, you're one of the best girls in our class. How could you say you're weak? But Naruto didn't let her finish the sentence. Hinata, I know you don't like hurting people, but in the future, there will be some times you have to. When you're alone and your comrades are all disabled, who'll protect them if you stubbornly refuse to fight like that? Then he chuckled. Besides, fighting isn't always bad. I used to be like you, but then I realized that sometimes I have to fight to protect the people I love. I remember when I first used the Shadow Clone Jutsu to protect Hiruka-sensei from Mizuki. It makes me feel more powerful than ever. So there, don't hesitate when you have to fight to protect someone. Especially if they're good people who are in need of your help. Hinata was stunned. Never before had she considered that possibility. Or had she? Could it be that she had thought about it, but dismissed it because it contradicted her ideal? Since the Kumagakure incident, she had despited fighting. She thought that because her father fought and killed the Kumagakure shinobi, her uncle Hizashi had to die. And since then, she had become scared of everything. The idea that hurting and killing people was bad was planted firm into her head, and made her a shy girl who never wanted to fight others. She stubbornly thought that if she fought, it would only lead to other people suffering. And Hinata suddenly felt ashamed. Naruto-kun, the boy she admired and loved, the one who had suffered from abuses during his childhood, in which she observed but couldn't do anything to help, had always thought of fighting to protect others, while she, a girl born into the mighty Hyuga clan, had refused to fight only to run away from her past. Naruto-kun. End flashback. Oh no. I will not run away anymore. A palm full of chakra slammed at Mizu's stomach, and suddenly he felt a sharp pain, as if a knife had just been shoved into his navel. He gasped, stumbling back. What the? I will not let you harm Tazuna-san, or Sakura-san. You're within my divination. Mizu lifted his head, and finally saw what he couldn't see earlier behind the thick mist screen. A pair of pure white eyes. No. You're Hyuga. 2 palms. Fingers poked his shoulders, and Mizu felt his arms becoming numb. 4 palms. Finger poked him again, and now his legs couldn't move. It's just like all his energy was sealed up completely in those limbs. 8 palms. 16 palms. 8 trigrams. 32 palms. Mizu's eyes rolled back into his head, and he slumped on the ground, fainted. Standing over his body was Hinata, whose white eyes were full of power and determination. Thank you, Naruto-kun. I finally understand what you said. We will become strong when we use our powers to protect others. You bitch. What have you done to my brother? Gozu, who was fighting Sakura, howled like a wounded animal. He abandoned his opponent and jumped at Hinata, who had just deactivated her Byakugan, making her unable to see him advancing towards her from behind. Die. Fang over fang. From nowhere, the combination jutsu of Kiba and Akamaru slammed at Gozu, sending him flying away. He struggled to stand up, but his eyes widened, and he collapsed into another heap on the ground. Kurenai smiled after successfully putting the missing nin into a blissful sleep with a genjutsu. Hinata, you did great. I'm very proud of you. Kakashi grimaced. He didn't have to move anywhere to see that Sasuke was screwed horribly. Since the Dome of Ice was erected, Sasuke had been overpowered completely. Not only he couldn't even touch Haku anymore, he also became the free dummy for the fake hunter nin to practice throwing senbon. It was only through pure luck, or something Kakashi didn't know about, that Sasuke didn't become a human-shaped pincushion. Luckily for him, Kurenai and her team had arrived and disposed of the blasted demon brothers quickly. Kakashi let out a sigh in relief. Now the bridge builder had protection. Kurenai. You and your team, lead Tazuna-san out of here. Now. I will hold Zabuza off. Kurenai, as a veteran jonin, didn't need to be asked twice. Leaving civilians in the middle of a ninja battle is never a good idea, especially when that civilian is your own client. She nodded at her team, and the 4 ninja together with Tazuna ran back the trail they arrived from, away from the battlefield. Now there was only the problem with Sasuke. He jumped away from another deadly slash of Zabuza, and threw a kunai at the ice dome. The knife was through the air, aiming at the mirror containing the image of the masked hunter nin. Only to be caught easily by the ninja who emerged from the mirror. Damn it. And he felt a blur of orange flew past him. The hunter nin was knocked out of the mirror with a very hard kick to the face. And Naruto landed on the bridge with a loud thud. Hello guys. What did I miss? Nice entrance there, dude. Juki duly noted. I know. Naruto answered with a smug grin. He turned to Sasuke, who was now slumping inside the mirror dome. Ouch. That must have hurt. Goku winced when he saw the boy's body, now looking like a porcupine. Human's body wasn't supposed to look like that. Hey team. Naruto called into the dome. Why didn't you just, body flicker out of that dome instead of just standing there to take all those needles? Sasuke yelled out. You think I hadn't thought of that? Because he cannot. A kick to the ribs sent Naruto flying into the dome. Ow. Naruto screamed when he landed face first inside the ice dome. What's the big idea, hitting me when I was talking? And why do you think he won't, idiot? Sasuke gritted his teeth. Look out. A senbon flew past them, effectively shutting both boys up when Sasuke frantically pushed Naruto away. Inside my crystal ice mirror, I am the fastest, Haku said, pulling out another senbon from her sleeve. No movement of yours can escape my eyes, and body flicker won't help you escape my senbon. Naruto blinked. You just explained your jutsu to us. I don't get it. Why do powerful ninja always have to explain their jutsu to enemies? Haku shrugged inside her mirror. Enough with this, Sasuke roared. If these mirrors is what give you advantages, then all we have to do is destroying them. He went through hand seals. Fire style, fireball jutsu. The ball of fire blasted from his mouth, and did nothing to the mirrors. Damn it. My mirrors cannot be melted by normal fire alone. Your efforts were all in vain. And the 2 boys were skewered with a rain of senbon. Again. It had been too long since the last time Naruto experienced this for him to remember how hurt this was. Ow. That was the greatest understatement of the year, Shukaku flatly noted. Oh come on. That's the only thing you could say, Shukaku-chan? Naruto yelled in his mind. You could have helped me with something, like that auto protection thing you gave Gaara. Don't Shukaku-chan me. The raccoon snapped. And that protection power is of Gaara's mother, not mine, so don't get your hope up. Okay Naruto, don't panic. What did I do the last time I fought her? The last time, He blasted everything away with Kurama's chakra. No, that won't work. That's just too overkill, I might end up blowing the whole bridge up. I have to try something else. Wind. Naruto was sure he had just heard Matatabi muttering. Huh? Sasuke has fire jutsu. Use your wind jutsu to boost the fire up, it will be able to melt the ice mirrors. Naruto's eyes widened. He had completely forgotten of collaboration jutsu. He didn't have access to his Rasen Shuriken right now, but Kakashi-sensei had just taught him a wind jutsu 2 days ago. He still hadn't perfected it completely, but it would be enough. Hey Sasuke, I got a plan. Try your fire jutsu again. Huh? Sasuke narrowed his eyes. He had just tried it and it didn't work, then why? Then he saw Naruto performing hand seals, and understood immediately. He grinned, and started to weave through his own seals. Together, yeah? Naruto grinned back. Sasuke nodded. The 2 sets of hand seals were completed at the same time. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Wind style, great breakthrough. And the 2 jutsu combined did what one alone had not. Haku had to jump out of the mirror she was standing in right before the inferno rushed through it and vaporized half of the ice dome. What? What power? Or... Haku's eyes widened under her mask when the figure of Naruto bursted right through the flame. His right knuckle slammed at Haku's mask, shattering it, revealing her beautiful face. I'm sorry Zabuza-sama. I have failed you. Everything around her went dark. Why are you doing this? The question of Kakashi almost caught Zabuza off guard. I really don't understand you, Zabuza, the Cyclops continued. You're the leader of the riot against the 4th Mizukage 1 year ago, right? Why would a ninja who did such an honorable thing stoop so low to work with a scum like Gato? I don't have to explain my way of working to you. Zabuza snarled. You're a fool, Zabuza, Kakashi stated while deflecting another slash of the swordsman. After your failure at assassinating Yagura, you left Kirigakure, left all your comrades to run away alone. As far as I know, right now they're still fighting, even without your help. Do you think running away like that will help you bring freedom to Kirigakure? And now you affiliate yourself with a scum like Gato. That's just too sad. Do you really think that Gato will help you after you kill Tezano for him? Killing intent suddenly spiked around Kakashi. Shut up. I will not listen to you anymore. Kakashi had to dodge and block frantically when his surrounding was suddenly bombarded with a furious barrage of slashes. Sorry Naruto. Kakashi thought while pulling out a scroll from his pocket. It seems I failed to help you convince Zabuza. But what must be done has to be done. Naruto stood triumphantly over Haku's body. His own body was riddled with senbon wounds, but there was nothing his healing factor couldn't fix. Behind him, Sasuke was plucking the senbon off his body. You shouldn't do that. You might bleed to death. Naruto noted. Sasuke looked at him and scowled. This was nothing. Then Naruto noticed Sasuke's eyes. Oh, so you got your Sharingan, huh? Sasuke smirked. Yeah. It must have activated during the battle. Now I'm not gonna lose to you anymore. Naruto grinned back. Oh. I'm waiting for our next spar. Then he heard the sound of 1,000 birds chirping at the other side of the bridge. His eyes widened. Oh no. Kakashi-sensei is going to kill Zabuza. Everything flew away from his head immediately. Kakashi-sensei had promised him that he would try to convince Zabuza. Kakashi-sensei. Stop. He screamed, but his voice was unheard. The Jonin was running towards Zabuza full speed, his right fist was full of blue crackling electricity. 5 more steps and Zabuza's heart would be pierced. There was no time. Normal body flicker wouldn't help him reach them in time. He had to do it. Kurama. Please lend me your chakra. Wait. What are you trying to do? Kurama yelled when her chakra was pulled on rather forcefully, and started to form into Naruto's familiar golden chakra shroud. 3 more steps. With a kick to the ground, Naruto flew towards the fighting ninja in a yellow flash, sending a cloud of dust on Sasuke's face, leaving him coughing hysterically. He had to reach them before Kakashi's Reikiri connected. 2. He wasn't gonna make it. He could arrive in time, but there's no time to stop Kakashi's hand. 1. There was only one way. He jumped into the way of Kakashi in front of Zabuza, and the whole lightning jutsu was shoved right into his own chest. Everyone was utterly shocked. Yes, everyone. Sasuke. Sakura. Kakashi. The tailed beasts. Even Zabuza. Kakashi was the first one snapping out of his stupor. Naruto. He screamed, hastily pulling his hand out of his student's chest, but before he could do anything else for the boy, the blade of Zabuza had been swung at his neck, and obviously, it was going to cut through Naruto's body, 2. And Kakashi saw red. Clang. The giant blade was stopped dead on its track by the metal plate on Kakashi's glove. His eyes were both locked at Zabuza's face with a glare full of hatred. A flick of his arm, and Kubikirabocho was yanked out of Zabuza's hand. The blade flew into the sky, spun wildly and stabbed into the bridge with a loud thud. Kakashi gently put Naruto down on the hard, cold concrete surface, and stood up, grasped the handle of the giant blade and snarled in a cold voice. "I gave you a chance to back down, Zabuza, and you ruined it. Now prepare to face the consequences." Never before had Zabuza felt such a fear. Even before, when he had faced Yagura, the Sanbijin Shuriki couldn't even compare to this ridiculous murderous intent from Kakashi right now. He tried to move, but his limbs felt like they had petrified. "Kakashi-sensei. Don't do it." The voice of Naruto coming from behind him made Kakashi stop. He turned back, and saw the boy standing up shakily. The wound in his chest was closing up quickly, and in 2 seconds, there was no trace of it left except a gaping hole in his shirt. "Why?" That was the only word Zabuza could choke out. Naruto smiled sadly. "Because I believe you are not a bad person, Zabuza-san. Kakashi-sensei told me your story. A person who risks his life to free his village from a tyrant cannot be a bad person. Besides, I have only met Haku-chan twice, but she told me that she had a precious person whom she considered her father. That was you, right, Zabuza-san? I cannot let her last precious person be killed right in front of me. But hell, I think if she was awake, she would have done the same thing as me." Zabuza's eyes widened. The girl he had rescued from a devastated bloodline family with the intent to train into a weapon. She thought of him so highly. And yet, he was here, always thought of her as a tool, a weapon for him to use. He thought of everything Haku had done for him before. No one in his life had ever given him such a treatment. The image of Haku standing in front of him, her bloody chest having a gaping hole and an arm piercing through, suddenly flashed through his mind. What the boy said was true. If Haku was awake, that would be the thing she would do. He hung his head in shame. A drop of tear rolled down his cheek. Since he first became a shinobi, he had been taught that shinobi were simply tools for others to use. They didn't have feelings such as love or regret. They simply were killing machines, created to work for people with enough money to pay them. But right now, why was he shedding tears? Did that mean the devil of the hidden mist still had feelings as a human? More than ever, Zabuza wanted everything to stop. "I surrender. Do anything you want." And with that, the battle in the bridge was finished. Naruto let out a sigh of relief. "Right now I really want to hit you for pulling such a stunt with your own body," Kurama commented dryly, "but it seems you did a good job there, Naruto." That was an extravagant praise coming from the nine-tailed vixen. Kakashi looked at the blonde boy. A feeling of pride started blooming in his stomach. "Naruto. You really are the son of Minato-sensei." He reached his headband, pulled it down to cover his Sharingan up. His work was done. Fire style, searing migraine. And suddenly, the whole bridge was lit up with fire. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.